Welcome to today's episode of Spiritual Sisters. We are happy to invite you into our space to explore, expand, and evolve.
Hello. And welcome to back. Hopefully.
Welcome to back.
Welcome back to our podcast episode this time.
14, right?
Yes. On the topic how to heal your heart.
Yeah.
Are we ready to go for the exploration part?
Yeah. Do you want to start today?
Yes, I can start. So, in regards to how to heal my heart, yeah, I think I'm not facing anything currently in my life where I feel that I hold a sorrow or anything in my heart, either romantically or in friendships or family or anything. So it's not so present for me to have the need to heal my heart. But this time I am actually kind of exploring how I can heal things that have happened earlier in my life that I haven't yet healed. Sometimes when we have more time and space and energy, we can go back and visit some of the experiences that we have had before. It feels like something from the past has kind of resurfaced. I don't know if that's a word.
It is, yeah.
Yes. And so I feel like I'm trying to heal some of the things that has been in my body stagnated, and this is a good time because I feel like I have more like I'm in a good place mentally, and it gives me the space to look at those things. Yes, that's a very interesting exploration part. No.
But I love it. I love it because sometimes when we have the capacity to just look back and we are not overwhelmed by the present moment, we have the power to go back and heal old trauma or old situation. So I think it's a very nice check-in.
Yeah, thank you, honey. And are you ready for your exploration part too?
Yeah, I think I'm sitting with two different feelings. Like, I guess I'm more in a present state of healing my heart. Not right in this moment. I feel quite happy right now, and I feel like I've come back quite quickly to who I am, what I'm supposed to do. And Spiritual Sisters is always a big healer. Like, the divineness, I don't know if that is a word, but I love it right now, is just healing on such a deep level. Like, I'm just getting pulled back into trust and faith with that business that we're building. So it heals every aspect in my life in some way. But I definitely have been exploring how quickly I can open up my heart to another soul and how deeply I can feel and how much I love to pour my love into those around me. So when I have a feeling of not being able to do that, I'm in a situation where it's hard to find out, okay, so what do I do with that love? Of course, everyone would tell me, pour it into yourself, but it's like I have one, I'm just gonna tell a glass metaphor, like I have one glass with love for myself, but I also have this big jar for everyone around me, and when one person is out of that, I need to like find another way to pour that love into something. Or just accept that it's in the jar and it doesn't have to be poured right now onto something else, but it will like find its way in some way. I don't know if that any of that made sense, but so I feel like I'm healing my right now in this moment. I am quite whole and healed, but I definitely had 3 days, 2 days where I had some tears coming and explored the sorrow of change. And the other thing that I had in my mind with this was also like we had a conversation yesterday that also is a big heart healer because we have also like attracted each other in this business to be able to help each other heal. And that conversation was just like a big insight for the both of us at the same time. And I just love how our relationship is healing every other relationship in our lives. So I feel like I'm healing on such many levels, both on the more, not like a sorrow way, but just like, wow, that's a really nice insight, and as well on the sorrow way. So yeah, that's me. My keyword on when I'm editing is just well. Then I know we are on to something new.
Next
So
topic.
well, expanding part.
Expanding part.
Yeah.
Yes. Expand.
So, do you want to start or should I start out?
What do you feel like?
I'm indifferent, I guess.
You're indifferent. Okay, I can start.
You'll start.
So the first one I wrote down is start by allowing yourself every emotion you experience. And I wrote that down because I think a lot of times we kind of suppress or escape the emotions that we have because it can be hard to deal with them. And that sometimes not dealing with it just makes it like it doesn't allow us to heal. So if we choose to escape from it, we also kind of escape the healing. And if we choose to deal with it, we also choose to heal with it. So I think that's
Okay, I love that.
yeah.
Let's say amen on that one.
Amen. And another little one I wrote down is healing is feeling. And
Quote mama has changed.
quote
here.
mama.
I'm quitting my job.
No. We cannot survive without you as our quote mama. So that is settled.
We'll have
But
two now.
we have two, yes. So, but I wrote down healing is feeling because when we feel every emotion that we experience and when we allow ourselves to sit with them, allow to be with them, allow them to be there, then we also accept them as they are. We give space to them and it allows us to heal because we don't work against our feelings or experiences. And then eventually, when we raise awareness to these feelings, they kind of lose the power or attachment we have to them. So they can end up drifting by like clouds on the sky because we don't hang on to them. So feeling is healing. Feel. So you will heal.
So feel and heal. Heal the feels.
Yes.
Well, I mean, my first one is quite the same.
Similar,
So
yes.
yeah, similar. And I wrote down let the emotions flow. So I found out that every point of mine is split in two. So of course I have a lot. So the first one in my number one is let the emotions flow. I feel like you said it very good, so I'm not gonna just like repeat that, but I'm just gonna say one sentence that I read in a book that I also shared with you the other day. That is like, if you only choose the happiness of the love and not the sorrow of the love, you can laugh, but not all your laughter, and you can cry, but not all your tears. And I just found that quite beautiful. Like, if you don't allow yourself to have your heart fully opened, you will never have the fully opening love. So I feel like that's just, instead of being afraid of the emotions, let the whole palette, as we spoke about last time, like let all the colors, let all the feelings be there to experience the whole of life. Sometimes the same source that we get our laughter from, that we have all these nice experiences with, for example, with a person, it's also the same person that will make our tears flow crazy much. So it's not like it's inseparable
because
the
they
hurt
matter.
and the love, the sorrow and the love. It's like it's a couple. It comes in a pair. Yeah.
And we know that feeling when somebody matters to us.
Exactly.
They can give us the best and the worst sometimes.
Exactly. And the second part of my number one was accept that you don't have all the answers. So like with every question that arises, it's okay to answer like, I don't hold the answer to this question, and it's all right. Like, just let it flow, because the questions will arise. It does for me at least, and allowing them to be there also makes them less, you don't have to fight with them that much, but just being like, okay, you're here, it's all right. And I saw this YouTube video of like some preach. Is it called a preach?
I think so.
Speech maybe, but it was like a preach.
You mean a speech, but yeah, it can be a preach.
I mean both of it.
A preach speech.
And he was like, stay in it, stay in it, stay in it, because he just was with the emotions as well. If you stay in it, you don't know what happens on the other side, but if you push it away, you don't get the release maybe. And it was about this football team being 20 points behind halfway, and the coach was like, stay in it, stay in it, stay in it, stay in it. and they won by 2. So even how far back you can feel you are, even how sad you feel you are, stay in it, because there will be a victory waiting around the corner. And I'm quite sure that God only allows us to go through the sorrow because he knows there's a victory waiting around the corner. So trust and stay in it.
Yeah, and I think it's also normal that we can tend to not want to stay in it. So instead of judging ourselves from not wanting to stay with it, that can be also like, okay, it's okay for me that it's hard to stay with it, but I'm just sitting with it until it's no longer hard, until it's no longer something that I want to escape. Then I face it and then I can release it.
And I will also accept if I escape it. But then I'll get back again.
Yeah. Acceptance is
Acceptance
key.
Is pretty much key as well, yeah, in this process. Your number 2?
Yeah, I feel like it's on the same vibe. So we're just following the flow as always.
Yeah.
I wrote down give yourself the time and space you need to heal because, yeah, a lot of times, for me at least, I sometimes hurry to do maybe other things or fill out that void in a way to forget the sorrow that I feel in my heart and to fill it out with other things that might kind of take my
Awareness?
take my attention. Yeah, it kind of take my attention and something that doesn't allow me to sit with those feelings as we talked about. And I figured out for me sometimes that's not self-loving because healing is not rushing away from it. It's rather self loving to take the time and space you need to sit with it. And sometimes it can mean doing other things, but sometimes it means sitting with it. And if you're only escaping it, if you're only hurrying to do a lot of other things and rushing away from it, then it's not so self loving. But if you can find that kind of balance where you listen to yourself, listen to your heart, sometimes it might need an evening on your own, sometimes it might need an evening with your friends, but just try to be self loving in that act and give yourself that time and space you actually need instead of rushing the process. Because I think a lot of times we have the tendency to rush the process because we don't want the process to last for a long time, because it's not as happy go lucky, as you always say, as other things, but actually allowing ourselves to take the time that we actually need. If it will be weeks, months, years, whatever, just take the time that you need, allow yourself to heal. And as I mentioned in my exploration part now as well, I can go back and revisit things from a lot of years ago that maybe have some scars that hasn't healed yet, but now I'm ready to heal it. So just allow yourself to take the time and space you need and allow it to be exactly as it is.
Yeah, and I feel like as we spoke about earlier, I have an example of that because Monday, we are recording this week on a Wednesday, and Monday I had a full silence day where I just told myself stay with the emotions, like stay with it. And I was fighting so hard. I was so like kind of angry about being hurt, and you were like, we were in a phone call together, and you were like, I think I'm actually gonna leave you here with your sorrow because you need you. And I knew that was the answer, but I was fighting my emotions so much. I was so angry, and I was like, oh, I don't want to be sad, but just allowing that whole Monday to be full of effing tears, let it flow, let it release, and just allowing it is the first time that I really allowed hurt to be my situation. And Tuesday yesterday, I woke up, I was like, oh, I'm happy go lucky. And then post eating breakfast, I felt the sorrow visiting me again. And I was like, okay, so we are still here. You still need my attention. And I let it flow again. And then I was still in that keep it silent, keep yourself not stimulated by anything, not a podcast, not anything, just keep it still. So you can be aware of what occurs instead of being distracted from it, but really following your emotions. And then, like, in the late afternoon, I felt like, oh, now I actually don't need the silence anymore. Now I can put those things in that I really enjoy normally, where I don't feel like I have a heart to heal. It was just amazing how fast I actually got through it. Not that it has to be a fast process, but just like witnessing how much faster I go through something if I allow every emotion to flow fully through me before I close it down, and then just being like, oh, it's really releasing actually.
Yeah, because
I'm
you
not
actually go through it.
exactly, and not around it or suppressing anything.
Exactly.
So yeah, I love that. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think just a little, the last one, like, so we don't basically know how much time healing our hearts will take, but one thing is for sure that we cannot rush the process. And I think that's just so important because for me at least, I sometimes try to rush that process, and it just didn't help me. And as you say, when we allow ourselves to go through the emotions, then we even heal faster. So sometimes we want to rush it to escape it, and then it just takes longer time because it's building up. And if we just allow ourselves to go through it, then it might as well not take up as much space as it would otherwise.
Exactly.
So yes.
And I don't know if that quote, if you have like come through with that, but you're always saying something to me whenever I am not allowing emotions. Do you know the quote? Can you like repeat it in English?
Yeah, I'm always saying like it's not the emotion that fucks you up, it's everything that you do to not be in it.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
It's actually a quote from a Danish psychologist called Mette Holm. Mette Holm. Mette Holm.
Mette Holm.
Mette Holm. And she just has some very good points because it's not the emotion of being sad, it's the
escaping
fight we have to not be with it, to work against it, that makes us, I don't want to be sad, it doesn't, I want to feel this way. That's where the kind of fight happens, and not the actual emotion, because we just allow ourselves to feel the sorrow, then we will just be sad, we will just cry it out, and then we will be able to eventually move on, or
heal our hearts.
Yes. So, are we ready for your next one?
Yeah. My next one I wrote down with big capital letters, books. Yes. Because when I had the biggest heartache of my life, that was like when I was 21, I guess. Oh my goodness. Those feelings that occurred back then was just like, I'm never getting over this. And two books that really helped me. I just wanted to like put them in here because the first one is The Power of the Now by Eckhart Tolle. And I feel like just reading that book got me, it's the first time that I really understood how the now is a thing and how the now is the only thing. And also just the past 2 days, I've really been telling myself if I felt a sorrow, also allowing it, but also telling myself, oh, which past or which future are you living in right now that is hurting you? Because right here in this present moment, all is well.
And all is love.
Like, all is love. And it seems so annoying to hear when you're really hurting. I know that. I'm the
and you
annoying.
Want to puke.
Yeah, and you're like, bullshit, that doesn't help me. And I think because the heartache that I felt the past 2 days wasn't like the craziest. Also because I'm in a totally different space, so I also know that a spiritual journey helps me never get into that space again, I think. We never know.
Or if it does, you will handle it in another way.
Able to handle stuff in another way, yeah. But just every time I felt the sadness crumbling in, I was like, oh, hello, sadness. Are you in the past? Are you in the future? Or do you really need to go through me right now? And just seeing where it comes from is like, oh, but that's a past worry or that's a future worry. We don't have control over the past, and we don't know what will happen in the future. All we have is now. And right now, I'm eating my dinner. Everything is well. I'm getting fed. I'm having a nice dinner with my mom. So all is well. Like, the weather is amazing. I'm well. And just coming back to that present moment, it's just a healer that it's hard to come to when you are really hurt. But that book I'm just like, read that book if your heart is hurting, because I really felt it helped me. So maybe it will help you too. And then I couldn't find the book in English, but in Danish it's called Dit selvhelbredende sind, and I just like translated into your self-healing mind,
Mm.
because that was also a book that I read in my first, it's not my first breakup, but it was the breakup that really broke me. And it was just two books that helped me understand how my thoughts are creating my emotions, and how I can actually go in, and if I change them or change which one that I go with, how my emotional status changed, and how my life actually changed. Yeah, so I think those two books just had two very amazing philosophies that really helped me heal my heart. It was not like a quick fix, but just a way of integrating that those two ways of living was just a healer in themselves, maybe in a process, but still they had a big impact on me. And then I wrote down and then a big bunch of gratitude, and my phone auto corrected it to a big brunch, and I kind of like that, like a big brunch of gratitude. Was also a thing that helped me through, was gratitude in the morning, gratitude like listing everything. So I just love how it said the big brunch of gratitude, because
it's like a
eat it,
feast.
yeah, exactly, just make it the biggest brunch of gratitude, however small things. If it's hard to find the bigger things, like I'm happy that I have all of my toes, I'm happy that I can breathe in air, I'm happy that I have a bed, I'm happy, whatever. We try to go into that vibration because it's the highest frequency. It's on the vibration with love. And I mean, when we get back to the vibration of love, that was also what we will attract. So what you just lost, you can make yourself attract again. And then I'm over out for my point number 2.
Thank you for the good book recommendations. Yes. I love those two books too. I read them as well, so big support from here as well. Yes. Okay, point number 3. I wrote down surround yourself with people and places you love. So it's kind of like the brunch of gratitude, as you said, because I guess that sometimes that when we feel our heart is broken, we kind of forget to see all the love that is already surrounding us. And sometimes being around the people that we love or being in the places that we love, it reminds us that there is still so much love around us, and that we can tap into this love all the time, and that it's abundant, and that we always have opportunities to come back to the present moment, as you said as well, and to go to a present moment that actually fills our hearts up with love. And that reminds us that love is still within us and around us, even though that sometimes it can seem gray because one person that really mattered, we might lost that person, broke up with that person, or we have a broken heart because of something else. Then being around the people and being in the places that still fills us up with love reminds us that even though that we might lost something that we held dearly in our life, it doesn't mean that we lost everything, and it means that there is still a lot of other things in our life that is giving us an opportunity to see and feel love, and that sometimes this space where we lost the love can be filled out eventually with some new love for new people, new places, new experiences. So bear that in mind and know that it's okay to feel the emptiness in your heart, but that you can also go to the places where your heart will be fed up again with a big brunch of gratitude and love.
Yeah, and I was just, while you were speaking, thinking about, we just recently, both of us, saw Eat, Pray, and Love. And just this feeling of all the capacity that you are using right now with thoughts of the past and the future and the thoughts of the loss. If you, in that moment, can just try your best to send love to this person, to send them light, and then try to empty your head, because in the movie he was like, so all of the space you're having in your mind just filled up with this romantic partner or someone that you love, try to empty it, because then God, the universe, will rush in and fill it up with some crazy energy. And that was just such a pure moment for me, like, wow, I'm really like putting so much, I'm having such a little space in my head for what is actually meant for me, because I'm over putting stuff in my head that is not meant for me, because then I wouldn't have lost it. So like try to empty it, and fill it with what is right for you. As you said, like the people that are still around.
And as you said, send love and light to the people that might hurt you or broke your heart, because sending healing energy to them will heal your own energy.
Exactly. And also just forgiving yourself. I feel like forgiveness, I haven't wrote that down, but like I feel forgiveness is just such a great thing in that process, because sometimes when we have a broken heart, we can feel like, oh, I should have done this, I should have said this, I should have, if I did that, it would repair it. Like, just really trust and forgive yourself for everything that you did.
You did nothing
Everything
wrong.
unfolded perfectly as it should, even though it can feel the opposite. Trust, forgive, and especially forgive yourself. But my number 3 is not about forgiveness. Again, it's two different things. So the first thing that I wrote down was create from your heart and then connect with Mother Earth. So the create from your heart bit is like, I just wrote down, go for that dream. This time I experienced this little heartbreak that I just like, it's a little cute one, if we can call it that. I just feel like what we have built now together, as I said in the beginning, is just healing me in a crazy way. And I know from the first relationship where I really had my heart broken, I was about to build something and I was in the process of building my own business, and it wasn't really there where I feel like now we are there. But it, no matter if it wasn't the thing that was really meant for me, and it was only the way to get there, it just strengthened me so much to allow myself to go after that dream that I have, to spend time on the thing that I know my heart and soul is calling for, that it's my bigger purpose, because it just fills me with meaning in such a meaningless situation. So yeah, go for that dream, go build it, because you have all the power that you need, even though you're in a hurting process. Even if it's one teeny tiny step a day, it's just allowing yourself to go for it is just a power, and nothing can take that away from you. So I feel like going for that dream or creating from your heart is just also a way to heal it. The second part is like being in Mother Nature, as I said, like it makes me see the bigger picture. Well, if Danish listeners, they must be laughing too. We have so... I'm so red in my head. I will keep that in.
It was so funny.
And I am...
It's gonna be a hashtag.
Being in Mother Nature makes you able to see the bigger picture. Ooh, okay. I'm back. I'm doing it with my eyes closed, so I cannot see you smiling. But every time I'm in the... No? Now I'm doing it. I can feel it now.
You can do it.
Every time I'm in Mother Nature, it makes me see... No. You're not helping me here.
I'm trying, but when you're laughing, I cannot help it. 1, 2, 3 now.
1, 2, 3 now. When I'm in Mother Nature, it makes me see the bigger picture. And it's just being in the ocean, being in the forest, witnessing the wind, witnessing how spectacular life is just right outside the window. I just connect with some bigger source that I know is always with me. And it's when we're struggling, I feel like it's because we are battling with the source's wishes for us. Like, if we just lean back and trust and take the step in faith, we know that we are held all the time. And Mother Nature reminds me of that. Like, every time I'm in a discussion or a fight with how I feel my reality should be, that reminds me of when I'm fighting it, it's because I'm not understanding how the source has a bigger plan for me that I'm not accepting right now because I'm in hurt. But going out there and being like, okay, I surrender. Show me that bigger plan, because I cannot see it, but I know it's there. So I know when I'm hurting, it's because I'm discussing with what the bigger source or the bigger plan has planned for me.
Because it can be hard to see that.
Exactly. And I have heard this funny question like some days ago where they were like, so do you see how you're focusing upon wanting to bring the presence of something you actually don't want back? Like, I'm just gonna take my own example. Hurting these past 2 days, that question just hit me in some way, because I know I'm hurting because of the good things that I really loved about it. But in the process of also having the good thing, there was a lot of things where my heart was not thriving. So right now, when feeling the wanting or the need to get it back, I'm actually wanting something that I don't want back as well. So like just
It
understand
wasn't
how
good enough. It wasn't right enough. And something better will come your way. And sometimes it can be hard to see that when we're in the midst of the mud. But being able to wish better for ourselves and know that we deserve better, to be fully, truly held, cared for, loved, and not only partially,
partially, I don't know,
yeah,
whatever.
but
People
not
know what you mean.
only, yeah,
Part of the time.
yeah, but not only part of the
Half.
time, not part time. We don't like the part times.
No, full time.
So yeah, knowing that you deserve more, and knowing that, yeah, you don't want to go back to half when you know that you can get all. So,
Exactly. You don't have to survive. You can thrive.
you can thrive. Well,
What a talk. I always sit with the feeling of like healing your heart is such a, I don't want to say funny because it's not funny, but like it's hard to get a grip on, because when people are so hurting, it's so hard to save them. And the thing you really feel like how can I save you? How can I get you on the other side? But we can't. So
you're the only one who can save yourself.
you can save yourself, and like lean into the process, hold your heart near, and know that there will be a victory on the other side, even though it seems the complete opposite right now. There is a meaning with where you are, and no matter the words that anyone can tell you, no matter the answers that you're trying to seek in other people, you hold them and try to hold yourself in that situation. Yeah. I don't know. I don't have any good words to share. I just feel like I really try to show my compassion for the ones out there who are really hurting, because we both of us really know how we can feel like our life is over. How it's so hard.
It's so
that
hard.
State. But just saying how we show deep compassion for you and are sending you much love. Yeah, it's a process, and even though that's the last thing you want to hear, it is.
It is, and you're not the only one going through it. So know that you're not alone, even though it feels like it sometimes.
We're all one.
Yeah, we are all one. Thank you for sharing that compassion, because when our heart is broken, sometimes it can just be very big a gift to get a compassionate hug in a way, because it can be hard to give yourself that, and getting it from others can help us to give ourselves that compassionate hug too. So yeah, sending compassion your way. Are we ready?
Then we will move on for the evolving gift.
Evolving gift, yes.
I have things in my mind, because it was actually something that I included in my points, but I didn't include it because I was speaking a lot. And I was like, well, I will save it for the gift. So the first thing is affirmations. Actually, because I had a strong experience yesterday when I was walking at the beach, and I was taken right back to Tulum. That's a longer story, but in that moment where I was teleported back to another point in my life, I was listening to affirmations, and I think that I was taken back to that time. I mean, there could be a lot of purposes, but right there, it was just a healer, because listening to these affirmations got me back into a state that I was in when I was in Tulum, where I felt so supported. I felt so much in the right place, and getting transported to that place to get back into the place that I was in right now, I was like, oh, I have the possibility to actually already be there, instead of having the feeling of someday in the future I will be healed again. No, you're actually healed right now. Also, a book that I read called The O Manuscript, it says the sentence like, get up, like you're healed. it's right there in front of us, even though it's a process as well, so it's a balance with that. But affirmations, just they're so strong, so powerful, and also something that I used in my breakup that was really hurting me. Yeah, so I think affirmations would be a big one, and we can maybe just share the one that I listened to yesterday, so we don't have to, because I feel like it's strong to hear them, not only read them out loud. And then the other thing was just music that is really supporting me. Maybe we can make a playlist with those, or I can mention them here. Yesterday I heard these two songs. The first one is called Yet, and I'm just gonna share the lyrics because there must be a reason that I want to share this. They say in the song, I know I've come so far, but got so far to go. And with these brand new scars and this broken heart, it's really hard to know if there is a reason and if I'll ever see it, but I want to believe it, so don't give up on me yet. And I just found that lyric so beautiful. Like, I know I've really come so far right now. I still have scars, I still have a heart that doesn't feel fully healed, but I know that there is a reason for this process, even though I will never see the reason. There is a reason. So I think like music can just support that knowing in the process. And also a song called Fear Is Not My Future. It's like a gospel song ish where they are singing, it's about God, let's say the universe, if that suits you better. But like, the universe is not done with what they started, it's not done until it's good. And they also sing like heartbreak is not my home. But I just feel like that trust in knowing you're not, this is not your end point. Yeah. So yeah, I feel like affirmations music that supports that process is just healing me. Yeah, so I think that is two things that I would include and that have supported me in my breakups and also supported me this time and just like in my everyday life.
Yeah, that's good. I think that what came into my mind to add as well was kind of like a drawn heart, and then with the question, what fills up my heart? And then you can kind of write inside of the heart what still fills up your heart. It can be people, places, music, books, it can be food, it can be clothes, it can be affirmation, it can be whatever fills your heart up, to get that reminder of all the love that already surrounds you and really put it physically inside of your heart to fill it up and see that it's already filled with so much love. And then I got another.
That's also a bit gratitude ish. Yeah. Just appreciating what you actually have right now.
Yeah.
That is filling your heart up. Yeah.
Or what it could be like, whatever you want to write down. It can also be something that you're looking forward to in the future that creates hope within your heart. So whatever comes, whatever you want to fill up your heart with, can be placed inside of it in that drawing. And then I was thinking about, there's this technique called tapping, and it's kind of like a technique where we tap on specific points on our body that activates different organs and different things within our bodies, feelings. And we say a sentence when we do this tapping, and it can be like, even though I'm feeling, and then you can put in what you're feeling, I fully 100% accept and forgive myself, or something like that. We can write down. It can also be like, I sometimes switch it a little bit up. It can be like, even though this happened, even though I'm feeling shame, I still love and accept myself. And sometimes I put forgive instead, if that's what I need. So whatever emotions you kind of need to deal with, that could be a way, also kind of affirmation, but then you also integrate it into your body, like with the tapping. And to not give you all the places to tap on your body, there is like one common point between your little finger and your ring finger on your hand, and you can tap here and while you say these things, and that's kind of like the point that also goes to all the other points. So it doesn't go as specific to all the emotions that are in specific points placed at our bodies that we can tap onto, but this place kind of activates the overall of it, and it allows us to forgive these emotions, experience, accept ourselves, give love to ourselves in these hard things that have maybe been stagnated in our body too. So maybe that we can write a little like this sentence, even though I love and accept myself, and then show
drawing
a little
that.
show
And
where
I
I
love
need
it
to tap.
that you're choosing that point, because I remember when I was on my tapping education, they called it the miracle point.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, miracles, if you choose to see everything as a miracle, it will be. And that's a point for miracles happening.
Yeah.
And releasing those emotions that we have a hard time allowing.
And not only releasing it mentally, but also like in the body physically.
Exactly. Yeah.
Because a lot of times
It's
we can
trauma healing on a
talk,
deep level. Yeah.
we can talk a lot about things like all the time, and sometimes we forget how we release it from our body more physically. So that can be a way to integrate the both of them. Yeah. So I think then we have quite a
Yeah.
lot for
But I like it. I actually really like it.
Yeah, I think
Thank you for your
thank you for
ideas
you
as
too.
well.
I think we have been talking for a long time as well.
I was just thinking about this. Maybe this episode is just long because
Yeah.
healing takes time, especially if you have a really, really broken heart. So I'm like, I don't even care this time. If it's too long, there is nothing as too long to heal. So I'm like, maybe there's a reason. Maybe there was like
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, what wanted to come through.
Yeah.
So, but Kiss, Marry, and Kill that we could go to, and then we're
Let's
done.
go to the Kiss, Marry, and Kill. The popcorn.
Yeah.
Pumpkin.
The pumpkin. Pumpkin. Yes. Well.
So good.
So.
Okay, I can start. I wanna kiss the process. Like kiss the process that it takes the time that it takes. Just be with it, kiss it, give it some love. It needs some love. It doesn't need to be rushed. So yeah, just give that some kisses. And then I wanna marry taking care of my heart, even though it means taking care of scars that is old on you, taking care of it through thick and thin, taking care of it when it needs to heal and when it feels healed, just taking care of it through everything, ups and downs, and seeing that it's already whole no matter what. No matter how broken it feels, it's still beating. It still allows me to breathe. It still allows me to be alive and to see all the love that still exists around me. And then I want to kill. What do I want to kill? I really want to kill the resistance to heartbreak, because that experience can be so transforming, and going through that process, it's kind of like a butterfly spreading its wings, because it seems so tough and dark and bitter at moments, but when we kind of transform ourselves, go through it, and allow ourselves to spread our wings, we really fly higher than ever before. And we see that this meeting with another person was here to teach us so much, and that we never lost anything, we only gained everything. So Amen. Yeah, so that's really like, it's, if we see the gift of it, it has been, then it truly becomes one too. Yeah, so that's my Kiss, Marry, Kill.
Thank you.
What's yours?
What's mine? The first thing that I was thinking about with the kissing, I was like, I'm gonna kiss you. Because I feel like, even though, I mean, we are kind of, holy macaroni, could I just say one sentence? No?
I love it. Let it come through.
We're trying again. I feel like we are each other's higher selves in so many ways, and just seeing how you leaving me with me this Monday was the biggest gift ever. So I'm gonna kiss how you are able to see what is actually serving my higher purpose, instead of staying and letting me keep myself in how I usually do things. So I think I'm gonna kiss how you kiss my process in the most honest and helpful way, even though it can seem like it's that gift is wrapped in really ugly paper.
That's so cute.
So thank you.
Thank
so
you.
I'm kissing you.
I'm kissing you back.
And then I'm gonna marry. I actually just gonna marry the experience that I had with just letting the emotions flow, just allowing myself to cry out, and just seeing how it just changes the process because the resistance is gone. It's just so loving to be with those tears and just letting them flow, instead of being annoyed by them or being like, oh, I thought I woke up happy and then they came back. What the? This is not how it works. I was just like, oh, it's good, and then was bad. Just allowing every flow of emotions in that state is just crazy for me to experience in this way. So I'm gonna marry that experience because I feel like it's printed in my heart now.
Mm.
And I'm gonna kill the fact that I sometimes can discuss with myself if I did something wrong, but instead really trusting that everything that happened unfolded in the most perfect way ever. So I should never have done anything different because I didn't, and because of that, I shouldn't, if that made sense.
It
So,
makes sense.
yeah, killing the fact that I can step in a wrong way,
Mm.
but just trusting that we always make the right decisions and everything unfolded exactly as it should.
Yeah. Yeah, that's so true, and can be so hard to see it that way. But
Mm.
when we see it that way, everything becomes a gift, even the bad things. And that can sound so annoying when you don't feel like everything is a gift. But choosing that perspective on life for yourself makes your own life a gift for you instead of making yourself suffer or seeing, oh, why is everything happening to me in that way? You can choose to see it like, wow, thank you for letting this happening to me to be able for me to transform into something even more stronger, happier, healthier, wholesome. And yeah, then you see the gift of it eventually. We all do.
Mm. So maybe if you're out there with a broken heart, you can feel like this is the most annoying episode ever, but just know that everything that we are saying is coming from love and we understand how that process can be the worst thing ever.
Mm.
So, but we hope that our words can help you a little, and yeah, you are your own biggest helper. So thank you for being here with us if you have that broken heart, and also if you haven't.
Mm.
Showing up for yourself is also a way to heal yourself.
Yes, and to heal things from the past too. So it's for everyone.
Yeah, and for the future.
For the future.
Whatever.
Yeah.
And for the wholeness, oneness.
Mm. Well, there was
a long John, as I
a
was
long
saying.
yeah, but an important one too. Thank you for sharing.
Thank you for sharing. Thank you for listening out there.
Bye.
Bye.